Hello everyone, welcome to Basically Neda. I'm Neda and this is my review of Dragonflight and the Sword of Shannara. So, as you can tell, I didn't finish any books by Tuesday, so I didn't have a Tuesday video. Now I'm doing two reviews in this video. I finished Dragonflight by McCaffrey at late at night on Tuesday night. So it's happening now. My review is happening now. It is the first book of the Dragon Rider of Pen series, and it is a YA fantasy with science fiction, mostly science fiction and time travel, and it's an adventure, coming of age kind of thing. We follow this girl named Lessa, who is working in a kitchen, and she is wanting to take revenge of the people who've taken her lands, and she is in line to be her father's successor and all that stuff. So she's just wanting to go and take revenge and take her lands back and those kind of things. And in between wanting to do that, she ends up meeting this queen dragon, who is the queen of all the dragons. And the story goes from there. She ends up having a different kind of path, and we learn more about their pen world and time travel and those kind of things. This story was kind of interesting, but the beginning of it felt very much like a textbook to me. It was just information, more information, and more information. I understand it's the first book of the series, but there could have been a little different ways of giving us those information. There was so many different ways that we could have gotten it. We could have gotten it from her, Lessa talking to somebody else and gotten that information, but there was a lot of information and then not enough dialogue at the beginning. The first few chapters was mostly she did this and she did that. Couldn't you put some more dialogue? Anyways, it just at the beginning was a bit harsh for me to read, because it was just okay, am I reading a textbook? Am I reading a history book? Am I reading a fantasy book? It didn't know what it wanted to be. That kind of put me off a little bit. Why it took me longer, because it's very tiny, it's a very small book. And then after she gets introduced to the queen dragon and all that, then it picks up a little bit. The pacing picks up and the story moves on faster. And there's some poems in it as well. It is a YA book, so you are going to get things that I was going, don't do this kind of thing. But it was okay. I enjoyed it. It was fine. It was entertaining, but I thought going into it I had more expectations, I guess, because it's very well known, and I was okay, this is not as high. I should have had a lower expectation than the what I said, you know, what I had put, like my expectation of this was here, and this was like here. So it was okay. It was entertaining. At the beginning it didn't flow, but then it started picking up, and it was a good story. My critique for this was that it could have been better. It could have been less textbooky. And yeah, I gave it a 3. Maybe I'll pick up the next one. We'll see. If I find the next one, I'll probably look for it on the Libby app if I can find it or not. Or the library. We'll see. And yeah, that was the first book that I finished this week. And then I saw that the Sword of Shannara was available on the Libby app, and the audiobook was also available, so I just decided to pick up the audiobook. I had read The Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks a while ago, like in 2016. I picked it up, and I wasn't sure if I remember a lot of it, but I did. I remember most of it, I guess, because I listened to it, and it was kind of nice to listen to as well. So this is about a boy named Shay, who is half elf and half human, I guess, and he is living with his adopted father and brother, and his adopted father is a innkeeper, and he meets this druid named Alanon, who tells him that that Shay is the ancestor of, like, his ancestor owned this sword, and he is destined to have the sword of Shannara, and this sword is going to stop this Dark Lord from just ruining the world, I guess. But don't want to give a lot of stuff away because it's not really like relevant, and I don't want to ruin the story a little bit. So there's a lot more into it. I just don't want to give it. I think I picked it up after the TV show came up. The TV show was a little bit all over the place because I think they had mashed up all 3 books together of the first original trilogy, and it didn't work. So I think I picked up the book after I watched the TV show, and then I was like, okay, this is very much Lord of the Rings. And the TV show was totally different. But yeah, the formula of this is very much Lord of the Rings, because during this time, this came out in 1977. Yeah, it came out in 1977, and the publishers during this time wanted the same thing as Lord of the Rings. So it's very much the same formula. There is a orphan boy coming of age kind of thing, and there's a adventure with a group of men, boys, going on to fight evil, find this object to be able to go and fight this evil, and they're being guided by this wiser man, magical man. In this case, it's a druid. In Lord of the Rings was a warlock, you know. So it's very much the same in that sense, but there's a lot of creativity in it as well. It's written very well. The plot goes really, like, it flows very well. I found it very interesting in a way, but then it was just like, okay, you are going from town to town, you are going from a group of creatures to a different group of creatures, like, you know, like elves and like gnomes and those kind of people. Do they not have women in their community? Like, no one is talking about any woman. There's no woman in their community. Like, there's no word of it whatsoever. And this was my also critique for Lord of the Rings. There is no woman in there either. I'm just like, okay. That's what it was like. During this time, there was a whole, like, 1970s. It was just the whole, like, I don't know, working women coming out, and the women's, you know, like, women's rights things were happening, and would you not write about that? I was just like, what is happening here? But okay, I will say, this came out before The Wheel of Time, and this is way better than The Wheel of Time. The Wheel of Time was just like, oh, and then we did this, oh, and then we did this that had this and this and this in it, and then we went to sleep in an inn. Oh, then we went to another inn. And this was totally nothing like that. It was very much moving on, telling us about the actual information that we needed, the different history of the magic, and like explaining the world and those kind of things. There wasn't any like random information that was not needed. So in that sense, it was good. The first time that I read it, I gave it a 3. I felt the same way in this time around as well, just because I feel like there could have been more in the creativity and like the plot. Like, there's so much in there, yet you're going very slowly to town, and like things happen where I was just like, no, don't do that, no, don't do that. But you know, it happens. It's just, I guess it was considered YA when it came out, so that's probably why I'm just like, why? Why would he do that? This is nonsense. But yeah, that was about it with my critique. Feel like this, because this is the beginning of the story, it might have been a little slower and that kind of thing. I give it a 3. Yeah, both books were a 3 to me. I picked it up to pick up the next book because I wanted to refresh my memory, so I probably will pick up the next book later, because I kind of went off the rail and picked up something that wasn't in my TBR. So yeah, that's me for you. Let me know down in the comments if you read any of these 2 books, and if you want to read them. Are you interested? And yeah, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.